There was a day when everything I had built fell apart. My career, my confidence, my plan for the future. I remember sitting alone, surrounded by the pieces of what I thought was my life's work, and whispering to myself, "It's over." But here's what I didn't know in that moment. Sometimes the end is not the end. Sometimes the end is the beginning you needed. Welcome back. Today I want to tell you the story of how losing everything forced me to start over, and why that painful chapter became the most important turning point of my life. I had worked for years chasing success. Long hours, endless sacrifices, telling myself that when I finally made it, happiness would follow. And then, in just a few weeks, it was gone. A failed project, a partnership that dissolved, bills I couldn't pay, phone calls I didn't want to answer. It wasn't just a financial collapse, it was an identity collapse. If I wasn't successful, who was I? I remember one night staring at my reflection, exhausted and broken. The thought in my head was, I can't start again. I'm too tired, too late. But then another voice whispered back, what if you're wrong? What if this isn't the end, but the reset you need? That night, I made a quiet decision. Not to rebuild everything at once. Not to chase a huge comeback. Just to start small. Just to try again tomorrow. The next morning, I did one thing I had avoided for weeks. I wrote a list. Not of everything I lost, but of one action I could take. Just one. Day 1, send a single email. Day 2, take a walk, clear my head. Day 3, make one phone call. None of it looked impressive. But those small steps gave me something priceless. Momentum. Weeks passed. Slowly, I began to rebuild. New opportunities appeared because I kept moving. My confidence returned because I was keeping promises to myself. I discovered that failure had stripped me of illusions and left me with clarity. I realized I didn't lose everything. I lost what wasn't meant for me, and I kept what mattered, the strength to begin again. Here's the lesson I want you to take. Rock bottom is not the end. It's the ground you can push off from. Starting over is not weakness, it's courage. Your story doesn't end when you fall. It begins again when you rise. So if you feel like it's over, I promise you this, it's not. You still have time. You still have strength. You still have another chapter to write. The day I thought was my ending turned out to be the day I started over. Maybe today can be that day for you. Don't quit. Not now. Not here. Not today.